What's up, everybody? Welcome to the ARkaiVE podcast. I'm your host, Kyra, and this is my co-host. You got to talk on the mic, friend. What's your name?
Jonathan Nigel.
First of all, Jonathan and this mic, every week we got it.
Real.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I like things really close to my mouth, and sometimes I'm like, get that thing away from me.
Welcome to another ARkaiVE podcast episode. We are so excited to have you here. We're grateful to have you here. Here at ARkaiVE, we talk about popular music and the artists who make it pop.
Boop, boop.
Yes. And today we are getting to the topic of soundtracks. I'm really excited about this. First of all, this is kind of how we met.
It really is.
And we kind of just discovered this.
We put the pieces together. We didn't we knew it.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's been a long time. We've known each other for a little bit.
Yeah.
Since 2018.
Yeah, this was in 2018. Wow, I love you.
Seriously,
Yeah.
love you too.
Yes, oh
it's
my
been
gosh.
7 years. That's 3 years shy of a decade. Anyway.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So back in 2018, I graduated in 2017 getting my bachelor's from Loy University, and I studied orchestration, music composition. So I went to a screening at Lincoln Center, and Jonathan was there supporting.
For purchase.
Yeah, for purchase.
Seniors filmmakers. So the film program at Purchase, they have a screening at Lincoln Center every year around May.
Yes. So I go, and we were mingling at the cocktail hour after, and did I come up to you?
No, I came up to you because you had did a film which I really loved. You did the music for the film that I keep saying that.
I didn't have anything to do with any film there.
Saying that. That's right.
I think I came up to you, and I was just like, "Hi."
You did.
Yes.
I had no. Okay.
And you were like, "What do you do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm a film scorer. I'm a musician." Yes. And you were like, "Oh, that's crazy because I'm looking for someone to." You were making your fashion film.
Yeah, for my second collection.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh my gosh, let's talk."
Yeah.
And I ended up scoring the film, which thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it really was a lot of hard work, and
we'll put a link in that below.
Yes, and it's really actually released.
Yeah,
we
really
released
that film. Yeah, it was an award-winning film, by the way. But
yes,
yeah, it was amazing.
Congrats.
And you also scored like my fashion show.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And your brother partially scored one of my fashion shows.
Yes.
So we've been collaborating.
Yes, we've been soundtracking.
We've been soundtracking from day one.
Yeah, since day one. Yeah. So this is a special episode.
Yeah.
For those of you who may not know what a soundtrack is or what a score is, and we'll get into the difference of those, we want to kind of give a little brief, information on what those are, and then get into some of our faves, get into some of the artists that who may have gotten their start in soundtracking. So kind of in the research, before there was any dialogue in films, and we're talking in the 1800s, before there was any dialogue, there was always music. And this music was mostly not always used for emotional purposes. Some of it was used to kind of drown out the projector,
which is super loud.
Yes, it's super loud. So they will put music there so that you couldn't hear that.
Right.
And a lot of these film,
which was separate from the recording because then they were connected. There was two different tracks. And
they would mute. Sometimes they couldn't mute the projector, right? So you would hear it.
You would hear the motor, but I'm saying the music, hadn't and motion, the film hadn't been combined.
Exactly.
At that point,
And a lot of the motion picture companies would actually have pianists or orchestras that were in-house.
Oh, wow.
So they would have the pianist play
while the movie is
screening.
Have you gone to a performance like that?
I would love to.
I saw the first Black Panther movie again years later. After
Are you kidding me?
With the man who actually in the score did the little boop, boop, doo, 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 doo. He did it the whole movie. Was that Lincoln Center? I want to say it was at Lincoln Center.
I'm so jealous.
It was at Lincoln Center. This was about a year and a half ago.
I'm so jealous because you remember when you just asked me, do I have a favorite soundtrack?
Yeah.
It's Black Panther. And my favorite composer is Ludwig, who made that. I would have cried.
It was really
I listened to that soundtrack.
It was a whole orchestra,
for fun.
But he was like in the front. The man. Yeah, it was a whole. They call live soundtrack, like a live soundtrack. I think that's how. I'm
gagging. Yeah. That's insane.
They do that in New York quite a bit. I mean,
I need to look that up, and maybe we should go to one together.
Yeah.
But that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So that's how OG soundtracks scores would go, and this is like, I'm talking 1894 to 1929, because then those were silent films. Dialogue started to be added around that time, the end of that time, 1929. So I thought that was really cool that even the orchestras would play live, and that kind of, even Broadway shows with live orchestras and stuff. I see why that is kind of, was used that way, because it was used that way in theater in the 1800s, and then the difference between a soundtrack and a score. The score is original music that is specific to the film. In contrast, a soundtrack is a collection of carefully chosen songs to be included in the movie. So the score even fills in the spaces between actual songs.
Yes.
It might be a cello just making a sinister sound, and then a song with lyrics, where a soundtrack is legit like a song that like a lyrical song. Yeah. So,
and inspired by.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Inspired by.
Because
either way, though, because the film could be inspired by this song, or the song can be inspired by the film.
Right. And also, doesn't it? So then you have a soundtrack, a score, but sometimes on soundtracks they'll say more specifically movie inspired by the film.
Yeah.
But then sometimes they don't. Does that?
No, I don't know why though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a production thing or a legal thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is also, we can even tie into this talking about sync, and I work in sync, and there are so many legal licensing things that go into making songs for film and for TV, where even there are some songs that they'll have artists recover, because they may only have the licensing for the music,
right,
but not the vocalists, or stuff like that. So it gets into.
And then the artist can also have a really popular song, and they can put the licensing available for just the song and not their vocals at all. Or they could double for the vocals, or triple, whatever.
It just, how much money you got?
Right. Or how much money I want. Am I worth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, facts. Yeah. So you were go ahead.
Oh my gosh, Kai. That just reminds me. I have to show you or tell you about. So John sent me a video literally this week.
Shout out to John Young.
John Young, my partner. This woman goes on TikTok. I think this went, I don't know how viral this went. And her husband is a songwriter. And in this video, you
sent it to me. Yes, I watched it. Yes.
Yeah, the American Idol one?
She, her husband.
Yes, who I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I looked up his music too. Okay. I wasn't familiar with him, but her husband, they wanted his song, right?
Yeah, for American Idol. And you
Yes, they sent him a contract to use his song nationwide.
Worldwide
on American Idol. and they were going to use it for a year.
For promo.
For promo, all of this stuff.
Yes.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
And they wanted a license for a year, and they offered this man $500.
And it was so funny because the woman was explaining that.
Yeah.
And she's like, honey, what did you say? He was like, nope.
Yeah. Like, do you want to do it?
She was sitting in front of plaques.
Yeah, like $500.
Plaques of this man.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth.
For American Idol, that's all they
And this man is already making money. So how many times is he going to do this for $500? At what point? You know, I can understand an artist who has never whose music isn't viral or doesn't have a community. Mm-hmm. So you want your song to be exposed. But at what point is $500 worth 1,000 people coming to download or buy your song?
Right. And to someone, it is worth it.
To someone, yes. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine.
I do it. Because my music, I don't have, you know,
you don't have plaques.
At
but
this
that
point
man
in my
had
career,
like a gold, silver, and probably platinum behind him, and they trying to offer him $500.
Yeah, that's insane.
Did you find out any songs that he?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't.
She didn't really. I don't even know if she was really specific about it on that video, but yeah.
Yeah, but again, that licensing contract sounds insane.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't do it
That's
at all.
Crazy.
You found some artists. Who popped from soundtracks.
Yeah, who popped and also debuted. They sizzled. You know, it wasn't their career defining initiating moment.
Like who?
Ja Rule.
No way.
What 2 soundtracks. One was they came right after each other. Can you guess?
Ja Rule.
So this is late 90s.
Movies.
Yes.
No, because I suck at 90s movies.
But you've seen this
and
movie.
90s. You'd be surprised.
Okay, Rush Hour.
No way.
Can I get a what? That was on, because I think Rockefeller handled that.
Wow.
That handled that soundtrack. That was his, he had other songs before, and he actually been on a soundtrack, but it was like nobody really, but that was the song that put him on the map.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was
what's the second movie?
He was in a Blue Streak. So Blue Streak, okay, that's with Martin Lawrence. He was in, but that's
Is that the one where he's a knight?
No, that's Black Knight. That was after. No, Blue Streak, he was a jewelry thief or something.
Oh, like All About the Benjamins? Wait.
Which I never saw, but sure. Sounds about
They weren't even jewelry thieves.
But it was about money. And it
was about diamonds.
Yeah. Little fact about...
I thought you were saying the name of a rapper just now. Little Fat. I'm like, who is that?
He's this little rapper I just
and who did he pop out with? Which soundtrack?
I said little fact about Blue Streak. Did you know that is one of Octavia Spencer's first spoken roles?
Really?
Yeah.
I love her.
Oh, like screen role. Like
the only film I see her in my brain, or there's 2 films that come to my brain about her. Yeah. The first one is Ma, because that joint was scary.
It was creepy. It was creepy.
Yes.
Yeah, it was scary.
And then The Help.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like the 2 films. But really, that was the first one. Blue Street.
Her big role, like it was a major motion picture. So he gets back from jail, and he goes back to this is the beginning of the movie. He goes back to his girlfriend's house, who's not having him come back, and he hasn't seen his girlfriend in a long time. And so who opens the door is Octavia Spencer, and his reaction, Martin Lawrence, is like, "Damn, babe, you been eating good." And she looked at him like, "Oh, shut up." She right here. She's like, and then Octavia's like, whatever her name. She's like, "Your tired sack of bones is back from jail." Like, it's so funny.
The film that I think about, like, which I don't know why this is coming to my head, but someone coming home from jail was in Baby Boy when Snoop Dogg comes back. Like that
Jody.
Yes. So funny. Yeah, so good.
So
I did want to say this one thing, like the first film that had an original score was the 1933 King Kong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
thought that was cool.
I've seen more King Kong movies than...
Yeah, why are there so many, though?
And they keep coming.
Yeah. I liked the last Godzilla versus King Kong.
I didn't see it. It looks amazing, but I didn't see it.
I liked it.
It looked big, like a...
Yeah, it was
cost
a big...
$400 billion.
Yeah, props. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's interesting.
All right, so Ja Rule.
Ja Rule.
Who else?
Okay, another one. Speaking of our first episode and Alicia Keys, Men in Black.
Who though?
Alicia Keys was in the Men in Black, and she has a song. It's called Body Ba. It's not even a word. It's like Body Ba. No, I'm not even joking. It's like La Di Da. It's like 3 words.
Body Ba.
Like Body Ba. Yeah, and this was so Men in Black was 98, and Diary of Alicia Keys was 2000. Right. So this was it was a good whole year.
But she put that out first. I do remember that.
It's like a little ditty song. Like it's not even like it's,
Yeah, okay. Ditty
like a... I'm sorry. I say that as like I say ditty as a small...
Like a little bop.
Little bop.
Okay.
I use that word. It's like, oh, it's a little ditty.
Yeah.
I don't even think about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, and then the other one... It's an interesting story. So Anita Baker was supposed to record a soundtrack song for Babyface. A song called "Love Should Have Brought You Home."
For which movie?
Waiting
to
Boomerang.
Exhale? Oh,
Boomerang. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
With Eddie Murphy.
What's her name was in there?
Halle Berry.
No, that's not
Martin
what I'm
Lawrence
talking about, though.
also.
Grace Jones, right?
Grace.
Yes, in the restaurant.
That scene
takes me out every time. I love Grace Jones so much.
Oh my God. Are you gay?
Yes. Don't you kind of like just the rawness or the cuntiness?
Yes,
that's like the only word
really
that I can use for it.
I feel like kind of like the No Fucks Given was spawned from Grace. So she gave 0.
Yeah.
Like her characters.
I love that Beyonce was able to get Grace Jones on the Renaissance album.
Yes.
Because what?
Yes.
Even opening the song Grace Jones.
Yes.
Grace Jones.
And you gotta pay Grace Jones money to say Grace Jones in one of your songs.
Right. Well, Beyonce's saying Grace Jones.
Right.
But Grace Jones, move out the way.
Yeah, right. Which, by the way, is one of the best concept albums of all time. Grace Jones, Rhythm, Slave to the Rhythm.
Yes.
That album.
Visually, too. Oh, my God.
That album as a concept is like the foundation of so many albums after that. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I need to listen. We need to do a Grace Jones episode because
I'm talking about like Rhythm Nation. They're like Rhythm Nation and Slave to the Rhythm. There's a lot of little connections.
She has an album named Rhythm Nation?
No,
you're talking about Janet
Jackson's Rhythm Nation. I could just see there's a lot. I listen to those albums. I'm like, oh my god,
I need to listen to those
anyway
together. I'm gonna listen to those today.
Yeah,
but yeah, we were talking.
We were talking about Grace Jones and we were talking about Boomerang. So,
we were talking about Babyface, Anita Baker. Yes,
to record this song because he's producing the soundtrack, and she's like, I can't.
Anita.
I can't like. Oh no. He has an artist do the first track
demo.
I knew that word. And that artist is Toni Braxton. He sends the demo over to Anita. Anita's like, I can't. I'm busy. I'm touring or whatever. I can't do it. But that woman on the track is basically me. Go ahead and have her do it.
Toni.
Wow. Toni Braxton, let her do it.
And that's the textures of the voice.
That's one of her biggest influences. It's like she'll tell you, she's like Anita Baker, like that's where my voice is.
You know what song I've been knocking so much from Toni?
What?
If I ever in my
I knew you
again.
Get in there.
There's this live TV performance that she did of that song. What is the song? If I ever love again. I can't remember the name of the song, but there's a live TV performance of her sisters singing
Breathe
background.
Again.
Breathe again.
I had to get there.
Breathe again.
Yeah. Which all her sisters? Yeah.
Yes, and the harmony.
The Braxton harmony.
Go crazy.
You can't mess with them. And oh my God. Shout out to the Braxtons.
I posted it on ARkaiVE thread, so please go find it because that breathing harmony goes so insane. And it's not on the record. It's not like that on the record. So it's just too good. Yeah. So Toni Braxton.
Yeah. That was the year. So they both came out the same year. Her self-titled debut, Toni Braxton, and Boomerang soundtrack. It was really cool. Within the year, so yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cute. Like how I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Which doesn't. It seemed like soundtracks back in the day were a lot more important to movies. Like, and I mean back in in the 80s and the 90s, soundtracks and movies went more hand in hand.
Well, they were using artists who, which I don't think we do today, using artists who were popping.
Yeah.
Or knew they could pop. They would do it through the movies, which today that's not happening.
They don't do it as much. There's not as much care for soundtrack.
Who is
Kendrick Lamar for that was the last
Black Panther? Yeah.
I feel like that was the
he was already popping.
Right, but that, to your point, you said that was popping or was about to, but he did use artists that had quite pop.
SZA.
Well, no, not SZA, like artists that we like. This one to like Sobe, SOBE, I think. I'm just thinking
I don't mean any shade to this, what I'm about to say, but I don't know who that is.
And I don't necessarily, and I may be wrong, but
Toni Braxton, comparing it to that.
That's but what I mean, right. We're both saying, So what I'm saying is that craft of putting the attention and detail. Because you remember, like, soundtracks, not scores. There's a lot of attention put into scores, right? Most of the time, a lot of the time. But for soundtracks, it can feel like thrown together. Sometimes it's like they just throw artists
in there,
in a bucket with a whole bunch of.
No shade, like Billie Eilish and James Bond. I feel like they just.
But that is a marketing thing that James Bond.
But that's what I think they just threw her in there.
But she did it.
She did it.
But I think it worked well.
What song from it though?
Oh, No Time to Die.
I don't remember that song.
Oh, I love
that
song.
But the Barbie, she ate that song.
So then that's what I was about to say when there hasn't been an album since, but that Barbie album was another where it was a like that Barbie album was monumental.
Cause Dua Lipa, Lizzo,
John, and then on top of that, they did a second version of it. The Barbie album was so popular, so they did another version where it was a DJ. So you remember the scene where they're all dancing and that
that's
DJ?
the Dua Lipa song, right?
Yeah, they're dancing to Dua Lipa.
Dance the Night. Oh,
yeah. So then they have a version of the soundtrack where it's like you're at the club and there's that DJ who was in the booth that's the cover. And so it's like a B-side to that, and it just keeps going. It's like a continuous loop
of that vibe.
So go to
That's cool.
yeah. So
I think the Barbie movie for me was more memorable. And that could be because I don't watch the James Bond movies. Like, that's not something that I'm like, oh, I want to go watch, you know? So her being on that felt thrown on so that we can go watch it.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
But that's
compared to the Barbie where she wrote that song imagining how Barbie felt.
Right.
And I can picture that.
Right.
You know?
But that is the James Bond 007 brand is to pick an artist of the time and put them in the song. Madonna, Alicia Keys, Jack White.
Alicia Keys did a James Bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh.
With Jack White.
I'm going to go watch that.
That's not the best James Bond song. Actually, it's one of my least favorite. It just didn't fit. They try, there's some really interesting, the way a James Bond song is constructed with the strings and the sound of time. It's very kind of loungy. It's a little like it has a little bit kind of like, some of it has a a little bit of tiki mid-century vibes to it. With the guitar, the strums, and then like a lot of live, but all of or a lot of those songs take those elements. There's a really good video on YouTube that breaks down the elements of a James Bond song and how the different artists use it to their advantage. Like Shirley Bassey, she's the queen of the James Bond song. She did Goldfinger. Like, that's Shirley Bassey. She has a huge voice and it's very like, so, and it, what James Bond does as a franchise of soundtracks is they kind of take the sign of the times of what's going on.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Send me that video.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but I will. I had to look to find it. But.
So I was really intrigued of soundtracks from these two big artists.
Okay.
So number one, which was very niche, I guess, because Prince starred in the film and made the soundtrack of Purple Rain, right? Which I just watched this movie for the first time when I was living in LA. I've always heard the album, you know, and I bought the record on vinyl and stuff. So I've always listened to it, but I'm like, I never saw the film. I never saw Prince in this light. I don't know whether he's acting or he's dead serious, if this is really his life or if, you know, all of these things. But the album had such iconic songs on it, like Let's Go Crazy, I Would Die For You, Purple Rain, When Doves Cry. Just super, super, like, incredible. What do you remember about Purple Rain, the movie? Do you have any connection to it? Did you ever watch it?
I have seen it. It wasn't until later. I got into Prince in college, and I Would Die For You was probably the first songs. It's just that.
Yeah.
Was that 808? Is that it? What is that?
Oh, I have no idea.
That synced, I would play that song over and over, and that was my gateway. Other than, I knew a Prince, obviously, other than the singles. I'm talking about On My Own, and that wasn't like a...
Made you want to learn more about him.
Yeah, I was just that. I don't have, no, it wasn't until later. I love the fashion. Coming from like that cover, that purple leather, it just set a tone. It was just a tone of an era of decadence.
Yeah, I'm looking at it
and like
now,
even that
the white
ruffle,
collar,
it's that
the collar.
ruffle. It's very romantic.
Yeah.
Like in
which the film is.
The film is
a romantic film.
It is a romantic film. Prince is in a way a romantic artist can be. Right?
Yeah,
he has his romantic, but
100%.
But I'm talking about as far as like the way they dress, like all of his crew, like all the people, like Maserati. You remember Maserati? His group Maserati under. Oh yeah, there's like under the. There's so many iterations.
Even the mullet.
And even the mullet and the curls.
Yeah. Yeah, super
but
cool. And then the second film was The Bodyguard, which I just watched it for the first time last night. Whitney Houston she's so cute and funny to me. Like, how she was even like flirting with the bodyguard in the film was cracking me up. But that soundtrack, I Will Always Love You, shout out to Dolly Parton. I'm Every Woman, Queen of the Night.
Shout out Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan, I'm Every Woman.
Yeah.
Yes. I Have Nothing. And there were other people on this soundtrack too. Run to You? What is Run to You? By the way?
I wanna run to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but also an iconic.
Who else was on that soundtrack? That
Lisa Stansfield, Curtis Stiggers, Joe Cocker, Alan Silvestri.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, no, she was the only, let's say, big pop star.
Yeah, pop star.
Okay.
And she didn't sing I Will Always Love You in the film, right?
Oh, no problem. No, she did not.
It was, they were out like for dinner, her and the bodyguard, and there was this like other man singing it. A man, not even Dolly.
Okay.
I'd never heard another version, even how he like phrased it, how he was singing it.
That's smart.
I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like, I never heard this before. Because they were in this like bar that no one knew who she was in the bar, even though she was like a huge pop star. He brought her here because It's kind of like Carlo East. You know how I said, like, I can kind of escape there? This was this for him.
Wow.
And he brought her there.
Right.
And she's like, let's dance. And they danced to this song that was on the jukebox called I Will Always Love You. And it was this man singing or whatever. Oh, put your phone on silent.
Yeah, that was my computer.
It was?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
On the side right here.
I'm a mess.
But yeah, I thought it was cool. Like, right here.
Oh, yeah, that. But I think
it's off.
Yeah, it was off. That was my computer.
But yeah, I thought that was cool. I never heard the version of the man singing. I heard a Dolly Parton version of I Will Always Love You.
The phrasing is different.
Yeah, it is. But I like Dolly Parton, though.
I did, too.
She's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. She gives godmother.
She does.
And she's Miley Cyrus's godmother, but, like, she gives that.
Right.
I love Miley Cyrus, too, but that's just me going on a tangent.
I do, too.
Yeah.
I like that film.
The Bodyguard?
Yes. It's very interesting that the time, like, when that came, like, he was very not Mel Gibson. What's his name?
I actually don't know.
Is it? No, it's not Mel Gibson.
The Bodyguard? You're talking about The Bodyguard, the guy?
Yeah.
That is it Thomas Arena?
No.
Ralph Waite. What?
No,
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner.
Why'd I skip every
I was like, the guy who's first.
I went to the fourth white man on here and not the first. Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. Also Clive Davis, but also, like, more so Kevin Costner, because he had pulled in Hollywood as an actor. He was an A-list actor. He really championed the relationship be interracial, and it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can imagine, this is 92, 3, 4. It came out in 94. 92. We hadn't seen, I'm talking about, like, Clark Gable. I'm talking about, like, old Hollywood, running from the plane, kissing, rotating camera. That happened to white people. That was, you know what I mean? Like,
is that at the end of the movie?
That's a white. Yeah,
I didn't really get to the end of the movie yet.
Okay, we'll get there. Well, at the end
I rented it, so it runs out today. So I'm watching that.
Yeah,
I paid $3.99 for that.
Yeah, but watch it. It's a.
I'm gonna finish it when I get home.
But it was just a different thing, and we hadn't. That was just a new. To also be a black woman, to have a male, a white co-star romantic. And you got a single on it. 3 singles. It was, and Whitney had not released an album. And there was a span. Whitney has not released that many albums.
Yeah.
Because people count Bodyguard and Wait to Exhale as albums. Those are not albums. Not hers. Solo album.
Yeah, because I'm like, there's 6 other artists on this soundtrack.
Albums.
You know what?
And she took a big break in between
Waiting to Exhale and
so Waiting to Exhale, between, so she did The Bodyguard, Waiting to Exhale, and The Preacher's Wife. In
which
between,
The Preacher's Wife was filmed in Yonkers.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, up the hill.
Oh, cool. I love that movie. I saw that in the theater. But no, she
Waiting
filmed
to Exhale was in 95.
She filmed those 3 movies and soundtracks in between albums. So it was like 5 years that she didn't come out with.
And 96 is The Preacher's Wife.
Yeah. And she didn't come out with an album until 1998.
She was in her film bag.
She was in her film bag.
Because, you know, a little thing that I love about Whitney, she produced The Princess Diaries. And that was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
I did not know that.
Yes. With, what's her name? Anne Hathaway?
Anne Hathaway produced it too?
No, Anne Hathaway is the princess in Princess Diaries. Like, produced by Whitney Houston. It says it in the beginning.
That even comes...
And that was in 2001.
But that was after she did...
all those films.
And it's after she did...
she got her money from them soundtracks.
And she got her connections.
Yes.
And also, I wonder if she produced Cinderella with Brandon.
Yeah,
she probably.
Did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that was around the same time as after?
Cinderella?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That was before. I want to say that was in the 90s. And that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Whitney Houston. 1997. That was after The Preacher's Wife.
Wow. She was getting it.
Right away.
And then 98 came an album.
Got you.
So it was like
working
90.
hard.
She was working hard and like, yeah.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is that big break of like, she was still doing her music thing, but it's just like, she was not.
Yeah.
And
just incorporating it in soundtrack.
And still making coin off the
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Soundtracks, sync is where you make money as musicians. I'm telling you. One thing I wanted to say about the Bodyguard that I thought was really cool, how they incorporated her singles. You couldn't get the full song. A lot of the songs that they put, like, not I Will Always Love You. What is the song?
You mean by the original? You can't get by the original artist? Or you...
No. Like in I Have Nothing, they did maybe 15 seconds of it in the film, which is going to make the person go get it on the album, if that makes sense.
Got it. Right.
Where it wasn't like in the background and in the scene as well. It's like it was because she was an artist in the film. They would like, it would be like a flash of her working, doing the video of I Have Nothing, and then they would go back into the storyline, you know? But it was like 15 seconds of it. I thought that was really cool.
And how they integrated. So, right. So I Will Always Love You and I Have Nothing, right? Mm-hmm. Those were singles from the film.
Yes, but she didn't sing it in the film.
Right.
I Will Always Love You.
But Queen of the Night, which was also a song from the album, which I don't necessarily, if it was a single, it was a third or fourth. But in the film, she's performing it at the Oscars, right?
I didn't get that far in the movie.
Okay, so there's a song called Queen of the Night, which
I think I know the song.
Right. Which was a single, because I think they made a video and they used a lot of footage from the video from the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think they kind of filmed them at the same time.
That's cool. Yeah. That's smart.
Right. But they used that as her performance for the Oscars, because I think that was the film in the film The Bodyguard. What's her name? Celeste? No, what's her name?
In the film?
Yeah.
Her name is Rachel.
Rachel is nominated for like an Oscar for acting because she's an actor/musician in the film too.
I didn't get that impression. I think she's just a singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
somebody's trying to kill her or something.
So but she must be nominated. I don't know if she's nominated for like Song of the Year, but she's performing at the Oscars and she gives a nominee. And that's, you haven't got to that part yet.
No.
Oh yeah. So anyway,
I'm literally at the part where they're like in a cabin and somebody found them.
Okay. Yeah. So that's about half.
I have like maybe 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Bodyguard is good though. I'm glad that I'm like finally watching it. So to kind of get into Black Panther.
Yes.
Why I love the score so much is because Ludwig also produced the song Red Nose by Childish Gambino.
Okay. Oh, that one? I did not know. That's one of my favorite. Redbone.
Redbone. I said red nose. Like a red nose. Like.
Thinking hard, because I was like, I don't know everything about Childish.
In my notes, it says Redbone.
Okay, yeah. I love Redbone. That's one of my favorites by him.
And him and Ludwig and Childish Gambino, Donald Glover produced that together.
He flowed. Ludwig? He's South African. That's white South African.
He is from Africa?
Yeah.
Ludwig is from like Germany or something?
No, I think he's South African. Or maybe he may be white, but I thought he was South African.
But what I love about him for Black Panther, what he did was he asked the people who kind of made the culture of what is the place called? Wakanda. If you're listening, I put the X on my chest. Right. Okay. He connected with the people who kind of pulled cultural things to create the country of Wakanda. Mm-hmm. He went to those actual countries, literally, and found recordings in their libraries of their original tribal music. Figured out what type of drums they use, went and found drummers who use, so there's this one
He probably found that guy.
Yes, and it sounds like a raindrop kind of.
And then you should do. That's the guy.
Yes,
that's the same drum.
And he paid them.
Yep.
Hollywood prices, Marvel Hollywood prices.
Yes.
To record their drums, and literally wrote the score based off of that. Then did the strings, and his studio is so cool.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh my god!
And the amount of people that it has to hold. All the musicians,
it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And those men and those artists, the guy who did the drums, they're on tour. Like I'm saying, that was kind of like a tour thing, going across and playing live. Like that's amazing that you can
so cool.
have a career playing a very specific instrument.
And like for him, for the score to traditionally go in a score way, to appreciate and respect the cultures of these people who were... And
that's the difference from appreciation, appropriation.
Yes.
That is the difference. Because that, I don't care if he was South African, German, or Martian.
Exactly.
He went to Africa.
Right.
He talked to the people, went to the library, investigated the instruments, got real people, and that's what's not in these, especially historical soundtracks. From whatever time period, that's where it gets lost and
disconnected.
It becomes disconnected and watered down.
And we can feel that.
You can.
The reason why people wept watching Black Panther, certain parts, it's those details that make a human body react in such a way. It's because you can literally feel that.
Yeah.
In your bones.
Yes.
In our DNA.
Yeah.
There's a connection to that. So that's why he's my favorite composer. You know, of course, there's like Hans Zimmerman and like John Williams. You know, there's all those like
they're
OGs.
iconic.
They're iconic.
But this is he's a different
Yes, they gave
generation.
us Star Wars and E.T. and like
Jurassic Park.
Yes, exactly. So like, thank you. Appreciate them as well. And I think that he is up there for me as well, you know.
But it's also a different process of music making.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Black Panther, and artists who pop from Black Panther.
Yes.
Black Panther 2, Lift Me Up.
Lift me up.
Performed by
Hold Me Down.
And written by, you know who wrote that?
Thames on solid ground. That's not the word. First of all, can we talk about Thames? It was at the Oscars.
Yeah,
that white fit that she had on.
I don't think I saw her.
You literally couldn't see anyone behind her.
I know.
Her fit was so dramatic.
In the audience?
Yeah.
Okay, was that her?
Yes.
I didn't realize.
It was like...
Okay.
Anyone, it doesn't matter if Meryl Streep was behind her.
She was like, you're not going to see it.
I don't care.
She's like, this is my first Oscars.
Yes.
So, sorry.
Yes.
But yeah, that's another one who popped, like, she wrote it. So, yeah, it's just another artist that, Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
Rihanna performing it. I loved it.
And that was like, we wanted music so bad from Rihanna, and she said, y'all can have this ballad.
This lullaby.
Yes. And then had a baby.
Right.
For her babies.
Right. You know what's funny about that? There is an interview on E, and I think it's by one of E's. She actually she's really funny with E interviews because there's certain interviews she really likes.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Scott. She loves Scott.
Okay. I think it may have been Scott. Black guy?
Yeah. He's on Hollywood Access, right?
Okay, maybe Hollywood Access. So, this is before Black Panther 2 came out. And it was like, it's rumored that you'll be doing like, well, of course he's asking about music. He was like, it's rumored that you're doing lullabies. She was like, lullabies? Rihanna's like, lullabies? What would my fans think if I was doing lullabies, child?
And then gives us a lullaby.
It was so funny.
She trolls us all day. Did you see her doing karaoke the other night?
No.
Singing Needed Me. Singing her own song.
Did you show me the video of
her and Mariah Carey? Oh my gosh, so good.
I love her.
So good, so good. Well, Ray has given us we gotta wrap this episode up.
I like how we start talking about soundtrack, but we stem off to so many different things.
Yeah, but we came back. We
always come back.
I do want to ask you this, though, before we wrap up. What is your favorite soundtrack, favorite composer? Because I told you mine, Black Panther.
That is one of my... But before I knew about Black
Ludwig.
No, before this even came out.
About the slave hymns.
See, I was waiting.
Before I knew about the slave hymns.
Philip Glass.
You put me on to Philip Glass.
Yeah. And like The Hours.
So good. What movie did he...
The Hours.
What's that?
It's about Virginia Woolf.
Is it yours or mine?
What?
Yours, mine, ours. I could be
Is that Money Long?
Hours. Yeah.
That's 2 times today.
Moni Love.
Moni Love.
Sorry. Yeah. You put me onto that too.
I did too.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
I was saying, The Hours, which has Meryl Streep in it, but it's about Virginia Woolf, who is a writer.
This is why you put on the Philip Glass. Glass, right?
Yeah.
Because we were like geeking about Meryl Streep.
Yes.
And then you said, have you heard this?
Yeah.
And then boom, yeah.
Yeah. And he also did, was it An Education? Not An Education, that's a different movie. Notes on a Scandal. He did the music for that. That's with Kate Blanchett and Judi Dench. But his scores are he's like a modern classical. It's very... Do
you remember how we listened to this? We turned off all the lights in the house. We sat in the white living room in your house.
Uh-huh.
We turned off all the lights. I sat by John. You sat over there by the window. It was pitch black. And we put it on all the speakers in the house.
This was a minute ago then.
This was Christmas, like a couple weeks ago.
What were we listening to?
Philip Glass.
Oh, we were eating dinner.
No.
Oh.
This was after dinner.
Oh.
Or before dinner.
Oh, wow.
But John really wanted us to just sit still and be quiet. So he turned off all the lights in the house.
You were a lot.
But that's how I was introduced to Philip, and I enjoyed it. And it is very yeah.
Yes,
like
really
I
good.
could hear it on maybe like a Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
yeah.
A lot. Like when I say they hang from the hair, like a lot of composers hang from the hair follicles of his nutsack. And they should, because he has these.
No, but it's incredible.
Yeah,
so I can understand.
Yeah, it's really good. But
so Philip Glass is yours.
Philip Glass.
Cool.
Yeah. I would highly recommend Einstein on the Beach, which is not a film, but it's just a piece of his work.
Got you.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Well, that's dope. Well, thank you guys for listening. Sometimes I be forgetting that y'all are here.
I know.
Yeah, but thank you for listening. Shout out to Mountain City Productions for,
thank you.
Getting us together. I hope you guys are enjoying this, and we're super excited to give you more. Yeah. Please follow us on social media. My social media is bykyra.com, everything. Where do you want them to follow you?
At J8 4NM.
Yes, J84NM on Instagram. Yeah. You can go to the ARkaiVE podcast on social media, and you can find our pages there as well. Oh, my shirt.
I was looking at the dates. Oh, okay, those are tour dates. Is that?
No, that's when she was alive.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like a Simply the Best tour.
Yeah, this is Tina Turner on my shirt if you're listening. And I chose this because for so long, What's Love Got to Do With It was my favorite movie.
Same.
And I thought that Angela Bassett was Tina Turner.
That's so funny.
And when I met Angela Bassett, I swear, I saw her across the room and I said, Tina Turner.
Okay,
so I had to get myself together to go say hello to her and not call her Tina Turner.
How old were you when you met Angela
This was
Bassett?
2 years ago. I was 28.
And how you... It's the holding on this. I was. And how old were you when you saw?
Come on, this is rites of passage.
I know, but just wondering how old were you?
Young, like
right.
7.
Right.
like 20 years ago, you know?
I feel like there's certain movies you can watch this.
Yeah,
Somebody in your family is like, you need to watch this today.
Yes, and we watch it as a family.
That's so
yes. So yes, I have this Angela Bassett t-shirt. I also want to say really quick before we end.
You holding it out for me.
That my favorite movie is Crooklyn.
Yes.
And the soundtrack for that.
Oh, yes.
So good.
I can't even believe we didn't even talk about it.
I know, but I had to say it before we ended it.
Conversation.
Yes. I just had to put that up before we end it. But please go follow the ARkaiVE podcast. And you can find our social medias. Thank you so much for watching. Love y'all. Peace.
Bye.